we do expect for us to play in this range for a couple days more, maybe a few days more, and eventually break it to the downside. It's going to be a strong drop, right? Impulsive move, just like you went and you made a really strong move to the upside between 31,000 and about 35,000. Expect the same thing. Expect an initial drop and stop. First initial drop and pause at around wave 4, right? Between 34,000, around 34,000. A little bit of a retracement, and then a stronger drop between 33 and 31, right? That's exactly what you should expect. Hello everyone, my name's Dean and let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is November 21st, 2023, and Bitcoin is about to drop, okay? We've been talking about a distribution, right, which is basically an accumulation, or sorry, a consolidation that leads to a drop, right? And we've been saying that 38,000 was the top, and though we may push up and out of this consolidation channel and maybe hit 40K, that the larger move at play, let's zoom in here. The larger move at play is indeed a distribution where, you know, the price tries to make a higher high, tries and tries again, fails, and eventually falls. You do not want to be caught unawares by this. You do want to be careful and watch out for a big drop, and that is likely coming soon. Guys, if that sounds interesting to you, if a big Bitcoin drop sounds interesting to you, then watch until the very end. Or knowing about it and knowing why it's likely to happen, watch until the very end. All right, hope you're having a great day. Let's get into it. On the 4-hourly time frame, you can see by this red channel, this is what I'm identifying as our distribution, right? Our distributive channel, okay? This is not a regular intra-wave consolidation. Let's zoom out just to see why that's unlikely the case, right? By intra-wave consolidation, I just mean, right, as you're going up, you consolidate a bit, chop, and then you continue, chop, continue. It's not one of those, right? Why is it not one of those? It's because with a high degree of probability, yeah, you've broken the structure of the uptrend, okay? The structure of the uptrend is broken officially when you retrace beyond the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement level of the uptrend. And that happened when we broke this line, or this level right here, coming down, confirming this as our initial break of structure here. That's our A wave, okay? And so when we're identifying or diagnosing these distribution channels, according to Ralph Nelson Elliott's AB base theory, we're looking for 2 degrees of AB basing and a pivot. Okay, that's my elaboration on it. I've done a lot of research into this, but essentially you're looking for something like this, right? Your initial A wave, and then a corroborate, or a B wave that is paired with that A wave, okay? I forget the word I'm looking for. In any case, so it's an A B base, right? That's one pair, okay? And then another A wave, right? And then B wave paired with that A wave. So that's 2 pairs. And then usually you're done once you get a third A wave and a third B wave, and that's what I'm seeing. And this ultimately looks like a triple top, usually a rounded top, right? You know, if you study charts, that extremities are typically rounded, so bottoms are rounded, tops are rounded, and this is what it looks like. Let's zoom out a little bit. I think if you look at it on a higher time frame, you can see this, and you know, you don't need AB basing theory. A lot of analysts will tell you the same thing. You know, by any other ways of analyzing charts, most people will tell you that tops look like this. Like the price tries once, it tries twice, and it tries 3 times. And what do you recognize there? That is what we know to be a head and shoulders pattern. Okay, that is a quintessentially bearish reversal pattern. Okay, and this is how irrespective of whatever you're using to do your analysis, usually good analysis it is corroborative. It is it eventually gives the same results. Okay, so here we have our head and shoulders bearish reversal pattern, which is likely playing out. And if you're seeing that as a trader, as an analyst, you want to get the hell out. Okay, you do not want to be caught when this breaks down, because what's going to happen is this takes time, right? The distribution, the consolidation takes time. But you know what doesn't take time? The resulting impulse to the downside. And we've already said that this impulse to the downside on Bitcoin is likely coming back to this level right here, the $31,000 level, okay? Because that is quite naturally our support, our area of support, because we broke this 250-day resistance and we went to the upside. Now it's only natural, it's only normal, it's only right that we come back and retest it as support before continuing to the upside. Okay, further analysis of this Elliott wave, and by this Elliott wave I mean this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave impulse, also tells us that this right here, let's see, has taken about 25-26 days to come up. We then know that we should expect it to take about 25-26 days down, and thus far we're 12 days in. Okay, so what does that mean? That means our distribution may find itself to take a little longer. Don't be surprised if it takes a little longer, but at the end of the day, whatever resulting distribution is left, and the resulting, or the resulting downtrend, and then the accumulation on the bottom, all of that should take another 12-13 days. Okay, so just be careful and be cautious and be wary of the big drop, because big moves usually catch people unawares. You don't want to be caught unawares. That's why you watch this show. Okay, what else do we see? Okay, let's pull out an indicator or two. Okay, and our trusty stochastic RSI momentum indicator is telling us what? Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Okay, our trusty stochastic RSI momentum indicator is showing us strong bearish divergence on the daily time frame. Okay, strong bearish divergence can be seen here with a top and then a lower top. It's about to be confirmed here with the cross of the K and D lines. And on the chart, the price action is basically, right, almost even. But there's a strong divergence here in the momentum showing you that it's likely coming down, right? Does that make sense? If you know bearish divergence, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't, it's fine. It's just one way to read the likely move that's incoming. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. Again, 31K is pretty much where we're looking to land. And if you take the Fibonacci retracement of this entire 5-wave impulse, you can see the $31,000 level is exactly in your golden pocket. And what's the golden pocket? It's the area between the 0.5 and the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement levels. This is where wave 2 usually lands. Okay, and so on this chart you can see it's between 30,620 and 31,900. So that's around the $31,000 level where we expect to land, which is essentially the top of this channel that we broke to the upside, the 250-day channel. So that's Bitcoin. We do expect for us to play in this range for a couple days more, maybe a few days more, and eventually break it to the downside. It's going to be a strong drop, right? Impulsive move, just like you went and you made a really strong move to the upside between 31,000 and about 35,000. Expect the same thing. Expect an initial drop and stop. First initial drop and pause at around wave 4, right? Between 34,000, around 34,000. A little bit of a retracement, and then a stronger drop between 33 and 31, right? That's exactly what you should expect, something mirroring the rise up. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. So this is interesting and a bit tricky, and I'm going to tell you why that is. Guys, if you're getting value, please like, share, and subscribe. So we know with a high degree of probability what Bitcoin's doing, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to corroborate what we just said, everything, all of our analysis with what's happening in the US dollar currency index. So what do you see in the US dollar currency index? And why, again, is the US dollar currency index important? US dollar currency index is our market mover. It is our liquidity provider. It is inversely correlated to Bitcoin, has been for the past 10 to 12 years. This is incontrovertible evidence, as hard proof as we have, and as consistent an indicator as we have in crypto. Okay, the US dollar currency index is currently, it has been coming down, right, in this move, right? This is a falling wedge, and it seems to have found some level of support at this level, okay? And you can see in our momentum indicator, you're also starting to bottom out, okay, on the daily time frame. So what you should expect in the same time period that we expect Bitcoin to come down to 31K, which is about 12 to 14 days, right? We should expect the US dollar currency index to also move up a little bit, okay? And how will it move up? It's likely going to move up in the same way, but opposite Bitcoin. So like this is likely an impulse to the downside. Expect a 3-wave move up on the US dollar currency index, retesting this previous support as resistance, okay? So expect that to come up like this. And so again, you can see our read on the US dollar currency index, as it should be, is inversely correlated. It is opposite what Bitcoin's likely to do. US dollar currency index next 12 to 14 days looking to come up, Bitcoin looking to come down. Okay, so this is what we're seeing on the US dollar currency index that corroborates our read on the Bitcoin chart. Now the tricky thing is altcoins. Altcoins. I said in a previous video that as Bitcoin fell, right, or as Bitcoin was distributing, some altcoins would rise, and we did see that. Some altcoins did indeed break out, but it wasn't as wholesale of a breakout as I expected. And this is our total 2 chart, which is the amalgam of, altcoins in the cryptocurrency space. And you can see that altcoins essentially have been in this little range, just stagnating since the beginning of November. So although, yes, indeed, some altcoins did move to the upside, we got double-digit gainers, but most of altcoins, how do we know this? Because we were looking at the total 2 chart, which tells us most altcoins have been range bound at the top of this larger 500 plus day range. So the big move we were looking for, breaking this range to the upside, hitting the $1 trillion mark, has yet to happen. I still think this happens in the coming days as Bitcoin continues to range. Okay, is it going to happen while Bitcoin's falling? I don't think so. Okay, I think it more likely than not happens in the next few days while Bitcoin continues to range before it starts falling. And then when it starts falling is when you also see this start to fall and retest this previous resistance as new support. Because as you can see, we've been an impulse for altcoins since mid-October. This is an impulse. This is an intra-wave correction, right? You go up, whoops, you go up, consolidate. That's intra-wave correction. Go up, consolidate, right? This is intra-wave correction. This is not the top of the move, right? It doesn't look like the top of a move. And our momentum indicators are telling us it's not the top of the move. Look at the daily time frame. The momentum indicators completely bottomed out. 4-hourly time frame, momentum indicators completely bottomed out. Unlikely that this is the top of your move in altcoins. So if you're in altcoins, you want, by and large, you want to position yourself for that big move. Not all altcoins are going to go up, right? Some are going to be distributing because they already made their move up. So you have to be discerning. You have to be careful to mind whatever altcoin you're invested in and make sure that it hasn't already gone up, because some of them are where Bitcoin is, basically at the top of the move, distributing and getting ready to come down, i.e. Cardano, i.e. Blur, right? There's some that have already made their moves, i.e. Chainlink, okay? So this is what I'm seeing with altcoins. This is what our momentum indicator is telling us. I still think that this move right here breaks up and not down, because this isn't like Bitcoin. This is not our distribution. This is an intra-wave correction. Big difference. This is probably some sort of wave 4 complex correction where, let's zoom in, where you're getting some sort of 333 correction, right? A 333 correction, a W, X, Y, X, Z. I think this is what you're seeing here, and you're just about ready to start breaking out and continuing this impulse to the upside, with the last move giving you a break of this 500-day resistance up to the $1 trillion mark. So this is what I'm seeing in altcoins. Big difference. Now, let's see what our Bitcoin dominance chart says. If that read is correct, Bitcoin dominance is going to be looking to come down in the next week to 2 weeks, right? Just like the DXY, you can use Bitcoin dominance as a great indicator for what altcoins are doing. Now, Bitcoin dominance is basically the measure of Bitcoin's strength versus other assets in cryptocurrency, i.e. altcoins, right? So if Bitcoin dominance is going up, that means Bitcoin is gaining against these altcoins. That means the whole market is going down. Bitcoin is likely going down less. Bitcoin dominance is going up, right? Bitcoin dominance is going up. That means that Bitcoin is gaining against the altcoins. Bitcoin dominance is going down. That means altcoins are gaining against Bitcoin. I hope that didn't confuse anybody. So we're basically saying if Bitcoin dominance goes down, that means altcoins will go up. This is what we're looking for. And so let's see, what does it look like Bitcoin dominance is likely to do, right? On the daily time frame, always zoom out. When in doubt, zoom out, see what you got. The first thing that jumps out at me is my daily momentum indicators on the top, okay? That doesn't necessarily mean that we're coming down, but that's just my first clue that we're overheated in Bitcoin dominance. It's at the top of its move. The second thing is I'm seeing that we were at a top. We made an initial break of structure. We retested it, came back down. It looks to me like there's some sort of resistance that we're playing with here on Bitcoin dominance on the high time frame. So let's zoom in really quickly and see what this looks like on a smaller time frame. Guys, if you're getting value, please like, share, and subscribe. So Bitcoin dominance here is giving us a initial break of structure, retest, a secondary break, secondary retest, right? So that's your initial A, initial B, right? I talked about this in the beginning of the video, A-B basing, Elliott wave theory. Not many people at all talk about corrective patterns in Elliott wave theory. I would say that that is the most important aspect of Elliott wave theory. Everybody talks about 5 waves up, 3 waves down, impulsive waves, and a few corrective waves, simple corrective waves. But the bread and butter and really what makes Elliott wave special is this right here. Because if you're trying to catch a big move, it's always going to be preceded by these AB bases, either a consolidation or distribution. A consolidation, basically a big move to the upside is coming. You read the AB basing properly, you position yourself accordingly. A big move to the downside is coming. Read the AB basing in the distribution, in the distributive channel, and then you prepare for the big move. This is really the heart of Ralph Nelson Elliott. Well, not the heart, but what gives people the most edge, I would say, in Elliott wave theory. In any case, so my initial A, initial B, secondary A, secondary B. I'm looking for now a pivot, so a move down. I'm expecting a move down in Bitcoin dominance. And what does my 4-hourly momentum indicator say? Similar to my daily momentum indicator, it's overheated. It's on the top here. So I'm looking for a move down. Remember, move down in Bitcoin dominance means that altcoins are likely going to gain against Bitcoin, i.e. altcoins going up in their wave 4 of their interwave correction. They're going up while Bitcoin stays where it's at in that corrective distribution channel. So this is what I see in the next few days. Prepare for that big move in altcoins to the upside in general, not all altcoins, but in general, and then that big move to the downside in Bitcoin. Guys, that's all I've got for you. If you got value, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a happy Thanksgiving if you're celebrating, and take care. Bye.